Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria Melenzi. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, we'll be talking about all things red flags. Those red flags. Yes, so number one, inconsistency. Inconsistency to me goes hand in hand with fake promises and not following through. This is not calling when you say you're going to call, not texting when you're saying you're going to text, and etc. So for me personally, I remember when I was back in the streets, back in them dating streets, this would be like the number one thing I would look out for. So for example, if we're out on a date, right, and then you drop me home and then you say, I will text you when I get home, I will be expecting the text when you get home. And so when you get home and you don't text or you don't call, then to me that was a red flag. Immediately a red flag. And when we talk, I would confront you like, you said you're going to do this and you didn't do it, and then from that I would expect for you to course correct and do better the next time, right? But if you're dealing with a person that is constantly not following through with what they're saying they're going to do, that is a red flag, and we're too grown for that, unfortunately. You want to be the person that when they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. And of course it starts with the little things, right? If you're telling me that tomorrow morning when I wake up I'll give you a call, if you're telling me on Friday I will come to pick you up and I would like to take you out, and the morning comes, there is no call, the Friday comes, there is no communication, that paints a very bad snapshot of what our future is going to look like. If you're not able to follow through on the small things, what about the big things? If I cannot rely on you on the details and the little things that you say you're going to do, you're not doing them, how can I rely on you on the bigger things that, once we are involved with each other, once we are serious with each other, we will have to do certain things together or plan for the certain things together. From the dating time, you are not following through. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. I cannot rely on you. I don't want my future to be in your hands. I don't want my future to be in your hands. That is just the simple fact. The second thing would be pay attention to how they speak about the exes. This was something I personally had to learn the hard way. I don't know, I think more like as women, or I would say like the immature women or girls, when you hear, like, let's say you're starting something new with someone new, I used to listen to how they speak about their exes, and then if they're saying like negative things about them, I felt good about it. I felt as though that meant that because she's the ex and she's the past, that automatically means that he will not longer be interested with her and he will no longer deal with her, and that is absolutely false. You have to really pay attention to how somebody speaks about the ex, because truthfully, you're next, most likely. I mean, what are the chances you're actually going to end up married and end up having a future with this person? I mean, the truth is, not all dating scenarios end up in serious relationships. Not every relationship ends up in a marriage, right? And so what you actually want to hear is someone who is going to be accountable, someone who's going to say the part that they did wrong, because the truth is, with any relationship and how it ended, it takes two to tango, right? Both were in it, and this person that you're talking to, they had a part to play when it came to the demise of the relationship, right? And so for me right now, as a grown gal, if I was back into these dating streets, I would pay attention to how they speak about the exes, because I remember clearly this guy, we'll call him Ray, that I dated like a couple of years back, and he would talk so much shit about his exes, all of them. Like, he wouldn't even have one ex where he would actually just mention something good about them. It was always like a lot of shit talking, everything they did wrong. He's the one that did everything correctly, and she cheated, and she did this, and she betrayed me, and da. Zero ownership, zero accountability. And I understand it can happen in some situations where you are the victim, but at the end of the day, it does not matter how much of a victim you were. In most scenarios, there was a part of you that attracted you to that person in the first place, and there was a part of you that enjoyed the relationship. That's why you were in it, and there is a part of you that contributed to the ultimate ending of the relationship, right? And guess what? When the time came when me and this person were no longer dealing with each other, guess what happened next? I was next, and he was talking shit about me to other people, and I would hear about it, right? And obviously in the end it wouldn't work out, because he was the kind of of person that wouldn't own up to anything that he did, right? You have those people in your life, the ones who are always the victim, never wrong, never taking ownership or accountability for anything that they do. You don't want to deal with that kind of person. And so I would definitely advise that if you're back in these dating streets and you're dating, trying to get to know people, you're not in anything committed, is to pay attention to how they speak about their exes. It can happen, yes, that a tragedy happened in the relationship where the person really was a victim and really the other person did something wrong to them. I know that there is a situation like that, but also what you want to hear is the person being accountable and acknowledging the things that they did wrong, because guess what? If they have learned lessons from that relationship, they can apply those lessons into this relationship that they're having with you, right? That was a long explanation, but I hope it made sense. Yes, and the third red flag that I keep an eye on would be moving too quickly. This is the guy that says, I love you on the second date. The guy that says, I want to marry you on the third date. Those kind of things, when I was younger, I used to find very flattering. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like this is so sweet. I'm a words of affirmation girl. I love words of affirmation. And so that would be, for me, like amazing, like would make me feel so good. But now looking back, when somebody shares those kind of feelings, when they don't really know you that well, when they didn't get to spend a lot of time with you, then most likely they don't really mean it. And most likely they're just trying to sleep with you as quickly as they can. And I know the quickest way they can do that is by telling you these things and sharing, these feelings. So you feel like, oh my gosh, this person really cares. This person really loves me. And I want to, take the next step. And then you take the next step and then you realize, oh, actually that's all they wanted. And they didn't want nothing more than that. So I've heard of the term love bombing, and I've definitely experienced it, not in the way that, because when I read about it, it was more of, showering you with affection and love in the beginning, and then trying to use that to manipulate you later on. I didn't actually get the manipulation part after, but I definitely did experience it with one of my exes where I was love bombed in a way that in the beginning he was very, 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 very consistent, showering me with words of affirmation and quality time and everything that I personally wanted in a relationship, and always calling me and texting me like all the time. And I felt very, very quickly for this person, only to realize a month or 2 months later they were not keeping up with how they started the relationship. So actually they just did this in the beginning to kind of hook me in, and then once I was hooked, they completely switched up. They switched up in a way that they were not showing up as they were in the beginning, and they were not how can I explain? They were not maintaining the pace of which they were treating me in the beginning, right? To keep going. And I later realized the reason they were doing that is because they wanted me to fall in love with them, right? They wanted me to fall in love with them. And could we say that was the manipulation part? I don't know. But basically what happened is that they did all these things in the beginning, and then later on they switched up, and I was trying to find that person who I met in the beginning, the person that was very affectionate, the person that was very present, and that person was not there. And I would not get the answers. I would try asking what happened, I wouldn't get the answers. And so I would be very, very careful right now with dating those kind of people. Those people that just express their emotions way too quickly, people that just shower you with love way too quickly, and those people that just overdo it right from the beginning, and you're wondering why. You're not sure if is this person do they really have true intentions with me, or are they doing this to get something out of it, right? There is the concept of once you've gone through trauma in some capacity, then it's difficult for you to receive love, and I get that part, but I'm not talking about those people. I'm just talking about the basic scenario of meeting someone and you just feel that they're going 1,000 miles a minute. I don't even know if that's the saying, but yeah. And I would like to give a bonus tip. The bonus tip is your intuition. It's so frustrating to hear this over and over again. This is actually the biggest point out of all of them. It's just follow your intuition, follow your gut. When you're trying to get to know a person and you're trying to, build that relationship, I would say to just take time and be by yourself. You can journal, or you can meditate, or anything that you like to do for yourself, for your self-care. And just sit with yourself and just ask yourself, do I really see this going somewhere? Do I really like this person? Do I really want to spend more time with this person? And not just go with the flow, right? Our intuition is our biggest gift, I believe. And if everyone was to like just try and pay more attention and just try to tap in a little bit more, it would save us a lot of time and a lot of heartbreak. Right? So that would be the bonus tip and the most important tip of all. That is to follow your intuition, follow your gut. If something inside of you is saying, this is not the person for me, I don't believe I'm a match for this person, then please, please, please don't go forward and just end it as quickly as you possibly can. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed these tips. And tips, those red flags for when you're out in these dating streets. Please, what I would ask of you, if you haven't watched my previous video, I talked about all things adulting. So I'd like you to watch this video right here if you haven't watched it already. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.